Welcome to Piano Lessons with Pizzazz. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I'm Heidi Goldman, your hostess. So today's lesson is the beginning of the most wonderful journey you will ever have, or at least one of them, I think. Today I will be teaching you how to read the treble clef. I have been teaching the piano for over 40 years to 2,000 students age 3 to the 90s with 100% success rate. Believe it or not, I can teach you how to read the treble clef and bass clef in 2 lessons and play hands together. The caveat is that you need to practice, obviously. Okay, so before I get started, I wanted to dedicate this lesson to subscriber number 2. And she's a grandma, and she wrote to me, and she was thinking how great it would be for her 7-year-old granddaughter to learn the piano. So thank you for subscribing, and I hope your granddaughter will really enjoy following me on this musical journey of bringing beautiful music into your home. Also, I would like to do a little shout out to Margot and her daughter Brenna for this beautiful music scarf. I have such sweet families that I teach, and I always receive just the sweetest, most thoughtful gifts. So just a little shout out to subscriber number 2. I'm watching you, hoping to chart your progress. And then also to Margot and Brenna, her daughter. Did you ever wonder, how do people read music? It seems so complicated, right? So I've been checking out different YouTube videos just to see what other teachers are doing. Now, I don't know if they're really teachers or just musicians who are teaching, but I am a licensed teacher, and I think that really makes a big difference, because you have to be able to have that ability to teach people of all ages, abilities, disabilities, be able to switch as soon as you see something isn't working. And I hope that I've had that ability, I think I have, with all of my students. Note reading is actually very simple, but on YouTube I see all of these people with all these kinds of gimmicks. I don't know if they're trying to sell their products or what they're doing, but I can tell you, after teaching for so many years, believe it or not, the traditional way, I believe, is actually the easiest. And so as far as reading music, using pictures, I'll leave that up to you. If that's the route that you wish to go, I don't think that's helpful, because eventually, as you get better with music, you're going to want to play more advanced music. And as the music gets more advanced, you really can't do it by picture. And so instead of learning something and then having to relearn it, why not do it right the first time? Okay, so let's start. Right now I have in front of me a grand staff. So you can see the treble clef and the bass clef. Music is made up of lines and spaces. So as you can see, this particular note is on a line. This symbol is called the treble clef, and we have bass clef down here. Today's lesson, I'm only focusing on the treble clef because I want you to really understand it and be able to read your music like that. And you have all week to do it. And then the bass clef we'll do the following week, and possibly we'll do both as a review. So I'm really curious to see how you're doing. Feel free to write in the comments or send me an email at Heidi, Heidi, at Piano Lessons with Pizzazz, 2 Z's in the beginning, 2 Z's at the end, .com, so that I can address any questions that you have before you get too far advanced. Okay, so the traditional way of learning music is by giving a name to each line, and then it forms a sentence, and the first letter of each word is the name of the line. So for example, this one is every. So every starts with an E. This note is an E. Every good boy deserves fudge. And I have a really cute student who is just totally absorbed into Hot Wheels. And so instead of saying fudge, I said Ferraris, and he just got a chuckle out of that. So, as an aside, some of my girls' students will then say, well, what about girls? How come every good boy deserves fudge? What about the girls? So one of my students came up with this quick sentence. It's really quite cute. Every girl buys designer flip-flops. And so with you or your grandkids or your children, if you wish to change the sentence, you can. But this is typically what's used in the school system, and I try and stay online with them just so that they don't have to learn two different ways. But I don't really care. As a teacher, you can just come up with whichever sentence you like best. Okay, so these are line notes, and that's just because the note is sitting on the line. We also have something called space notes. So the space notes are in between the two lines. The nice thing about the space notes for the treble clef, it spells the word face, and face rhymes with space. So maybe that's an easy way for you to remember. F, A, C, and E. And one of my knucklehead students said, "Get your face out of my space." And my student was really being very cute, not rude at all. And it was just so funny to just see the attitude. And anyway, so I just thought I would share that little anecdote with you. So let's go back and review. We've got every good boy deserves fudge. Simple. And our spaces, D is down below. We have F, A, C, E. Face. Simple. So there's a particular workbook that I really enjoy using with my students. It covers the line notes and the space notes for treble clef first and then bass clef second. And actually there isn't any rhyme or reason to teach treble clef before bass clef. One of the reasons why I do it is because typically the melody line is in the treble clef. And so when students want to start trying how to play the piano, typically it's a little more interesting to hear the melody, and really that's the only reason why. So this particular book I would love to tell you to email me and I'll send you a few pages, but it's copywritten material so I can't do that. However, if you do email me or perhaps subscribe or even leave a comment, I can let you know the name of the book, and hopefully you'll enjoy using it too. One of the things I do recommend is copying each page 7 times. So that way you can do one workbook page every single day once you get the book. If you buy the book and you write in it, once you've written in it, you can't keep using it because the answers are there because you've already done it. Okay, well, back to our grand staff. Okay, so the G clef or the treble clef, they have 2 names. You can call it either. Has the line notes, as I said, or space notes in between. This particular teaching tool, regrettably, I can't believe it, has been discontinued. And it's terrific, I love it. But I have found a source, and I'm planning to order a few, if they have any left, just a few extras. So again, if you would like to use something like this with yourself, your child, or your grandchild, please let me know and I will be sure and get some of these to you. One of the things I really like is the back of it, as you can see, has the answers, and so that makes the student, regardless of age, very independent. Or let's say you don't know anything about piano and your child wants to learn the piano. How can you help them practice? Well, first of all, you can watch my videos and then the 2 of you can learn together. But also, if you have this teaching tool, the answers are right back here. What about flashcards? Flashcards are great. No problem using flashcards. So one of the things that I did this past week, I was teaching one of my littles, and his dad was telling me he just doesn't want to learn the bass clef. I mean, stuff happens, right? But I said, I have a way to make learning to read music really fun. So one of my videos, either next week or the week after, I will have the dad videotaping me with his son to show you one of the fun activities that I do with my kids. Not my kids, but my students. Well, they all feel like mine. But I'll be showing you how you can engage them in a way that's super fun, because as you know, technology is so huge, and sometimes it's just hard to get them away from their smartphone or any of the video games that they're playing. So stay tuned for that regarding flashcards. But in the meantime, let's just practice with this. So I'm going to put some of these notes out of order, because when you play the piano, the notes are out of order. There's no alphabet order to them. So first you learn them in order, right? And then when you get comfortable, then start putting them out of order. So let's try this one. If you can't remember, just think every good boy. So if you said B, thumbs up, that's correct. If you didn't get it right, do not feel discouraged. It's your first lesson, right? Let's be realistic. It's going to take a little bit of practice. How about this one? What do you think? A little hint for the spaces, think of face. If you said A, thumbs up. What about this one? Think every good boy deserves fudge. And how about this? If you said G, awesome. If you didn't, again, don't feel bad. Every good boy deserves fudge. Spaces are face. How about this line note? Every. So that is an E. Okay, well, this is the end of your very first lesson reading the Treble Clef. If you wouldn't mind, I would love to get some likes. Even teachers need a little bit of love. When you subscribe, you'll be able to find out when the next video will be. I'm planning to do a minimum of one a week, hopefully more. These are so much fun. And if you have comments, I would love to know what you're thinking. And again, if you really have some specific questions, just feel free to email me at Heidi, Heidi, at pianolessonswithpizzazz.com. Until we meet again, and until our next lesson, take care, have an awesome week, practice a lot, and next week is going to be so much fun. We're doing the bass clef and then hands together. Bye-bye for now.